galactic past, and we're headed for the galactic future. We are living in a space age.
The ship is taking off soon.
Black light, get on board. Step in, watch the door. Sit tight, let's explore. Get ready to take flight. Get with this cosmic trip. Mother Earth is a mothership. Better know when it's time to dip. She's heading out tonight.
Gotta give, gotta live, gotta care, gotta teach, gotta reach, gotta learn, gotta love. No more time to be blind to the signs. Use your mind to remind you. It's time to go. From the streets to the stars, to the sun and the moon. When it's time, gotta be in tune. 'Cause the ship is taking off soon.
Don't miss the flight, just get on board. Space highway fly when we see you. Don't miss the flight. Don't miss the flight.
'Cause the ship is taking off soon.
Wake up, human race. Ain't got no time to waste. Turn on your inner space. We're headed towards the light. Get serious like the star. Where you going? Don't need no car. It's not far, it's in your heart.
You can make it if you try. Gotta love, gotta live, gotta give and receive. Gotta flow with the G, gotta breathe. Be aware of the signs of the times. Use your mind to align you. Act like you know. From the streets to the stars to the sun and the moon. This time gotta be in tune. 'Cause the ship is taking off soon.
Don't miss the flight, just get on board. Space highway fly when we see you. Don't miss the flight. If you hit the sky, don't miss the flight. One day to the earth.
'Cause the ship is taking off soon.
These are the days we gon' sing about. Space high we fly when we see you. Mountain tops roar from the lion smoke. Sit high we rise when we chant it. The negative icons where they come. Look up, can you see her? The mothership comes from all around. Don't miss the flight. Don't miss the flight, just get on board. Space high we fly when we see you. Don't miss the flight.
Don't miss the flight.
Don't miss the flight.
From the streets to the stars to the sun and the moon. When it's time, gotta be in tune. 'Cause the ship is taking off now.
From the east, house of light, may wisdom dawn in us, so we may see all things in clarity. From the north, house of night, may wisdom ripen in us, so we may see all from within. From the west, house of transformation, may wisdom be transformed into right action, so we may do what must be done. From the south, house of the eternal sun, may right action reap the harvest, so we may enjoy the fruits of planetary being. From above, house of heaven, where star people and ancestors gather, may their blessings come to us now. From below, house of earth, may the heartbeat of her crystal core bless us with harmonies to end all war. From the center, galactic source, which is everywhere at once, may everything be known as the light of mutual love. Ayum, hunabku, evam maya, e maho. Ayum, hunabku, evam maya, e maho. Ayum, hunabku, evam maya, e maho.
And peace and blessings. Welcome to everybody out here tuning in to PR 1328 and the movement today. Truly an honor to be here with you. My name is Makua Ray. I am your host for this experience. And I want to give acknowledgement to that fantastic opening invocation with none other than the voice of Dr. Jose Arguelles of Bethan, invoking the prayer of the 7 galactic directions, which we like to use that to help set the tone and the intention for this container called the movement that we've created and that we're bringing to you today. So peace and blessings to everybody out there tuning in. I want to give a special shout out in the background to my beloved Ishel, who is holding me down for sure. So big up to her for the technical support and assist. I want to give a special shout out as well to all the kin out here who are doing their time traveling and their inner work and the transformative healing work that this time is inviting us to attend to. We're going to get into some of that today in the broadcast. It's quite a few auspicious occurrences. There are quite a few auspicious occurrences overlapping and lining up. And I was intending that my brother Reuben Genus would be here to share in helping make some of this conscious as we kind of bring attention to that. But he's not currently here, and that's all right. We'll go ahead and continue to find a way to illumine some of these things for folks who are wanting to put more character and context to this transformational time we find ourselves in. We know this event is called The Movement, and it originally was initiated back in 1997 by myself and a group of artists in Washington, D.C. We were inspired by the ones who went before us and who were even contemporaries at the time in the cultural arts movement. And now here, some 26 years later, the tools of the creatives are far different than they were nearly 30 years ago. And so it enables us to come to the global community at the push of a button. So we're excited for the fact that getting access and making connection with people seemingly is easier with the digital evolution of things, though we also understand that there's nothing quite like meeting in person and being with community and family in person. You can't really replace that. There's no way to synthesize that or to fabricate that. Yet we do what we can to shift and transform consciousness. And that's one of the reasons and the inspiration behind the movement has been for that purpose specifically, to transform consciousness. So whether it was in the grassroots community on U Street in Washington, D.C., or at Edgewood and Boulevard in Atlanta, down there near the King Center, or in any other myriad of communities where our friends and family come from, we know that the intention has always been the same, to transform consciousness, to cultivate community, and to help shift the paradigm. Because no matter what perspective you might have or what discipline you might use, we're all, to one degree or another, aware that there's some phenomenal shifts happening. Now, when we come together with each other, we get a chance to talk about those shifts. We get a chance to make it personal. We get a chance to humanize this experience, because actually finding others that can relate to us is a very valuable part of this process, I feel. We like to call it finding the others. And so with that said, I'm excited that we're going to welcome a guest here today. We'll bring her up in a little bit. She is absolutely one of the others that is on this journey. And I've been enjoying watching her express through the digital mediums as we've gotten to know her a little bit over the past several months. She's been an avid supporter of PR 1328 Planet Restoration and all of our activities the past couple of years, actually. She's tried and true, a steadfast supporter. So we're excited to have her here today. She is a creative, she's a poet, and many, many other things. And we'll get to find out more about TPH coming up here soon enough. In the meantime, I'm going to shift the screen just to put some highlight to this current sequence that we're actually navigating. For those of you who've been tuning into my work specifically, or the Harmonic Factor, or even Heal Humanity, you will know that we are very much focused on making conscious these intersecting and synchronizing and harmonizing timelines. And one of the tools and the lenses through which we can observe these creative cycles is called a wave spell. It's any cycle of 13. Now, as you can see with the graphic that we're presenting on the screen, we are in a cycle, a 13-day cycle as such, where today happens to be day 12. We know today is the crystal monkey. Now, we can see this 13-day cycle completes tomorrow on what is referred to as the crystal human. But I got to say, this past 13 days has been visited with incredible amounts of auspicious occurrences and events and overlaps, and there have been prophecy ceremonies happening throughout the world, in particular, that are signs of this very, very pivotal time we find ourselves awakening to. Now, we're all navigating it. I think one of the things we're invited to, though, is to awaken more with it, to awaken to come to consciousness. It's going to happen with or without us. And I just have to say, it's a whole new experience when we're awakening to it and we're participating in it with awareness. And we know we may not know it all. We don't need to know it all. The point is just be humble and come to this process of transformation with an open heart and with an open mind. And that's what the movement is really here to reflect. It's to reflect this transformational experience that, as humans, we're all having in one way or another right now. Now, some people, and our hearts and our prayers go out to them. This is a very challenging time for them physically, just due to a myriad of things. There's violence that's happening in places and spaces around the planet. And as they say, one violation, affects us all. So all of us are being affected by the violations and the violence that we're seeing and we're witnessing. And we're also inclined and invited to, as we feel into that, as we share our compassion, as we shone a light of awareness on these spaces where there is hurting and suffering, that we're also inviting the opportunity to help uplift the vibration, because expressions of violence are not essentially who we are. It's not how we are. It's just understanding these are things that are occurring, and it perhaps could be, there's a myriad of reasons for why it is occurring. But the fact is, these things are occurring. So we want to hold them in a heart space and not ignore that, while we also are inviting people to continue to stay the course and meet the journey with an open heart, meet the journey with some humility, to know that, again, there are many people that are going through a variety of things. Back to this graphic, though, the wave spell that we're navigating, as we can see in the very center of it, it would have been what is called the resonant world bridger day. You see there's a 13,000 marker there in green. It's in the very center of this wave spell, and that was 6 days ago. That is a day where we met basically 13,000 days since the harmonic convergence of August 16th, 1987. Now, that's a very significant thing. 13,000 days. If you take it one day at a time, there's a count of 13,000 days since this shift really ignited. It really got underway as of August 16th and 17th in 1987 as a result of something referred to as the harmonic convergence. There's a lot of layers to what that means, but I invite people to go ahead and do their own research and check it out, just simply because there's so much to recognize and to begin to resonate with in terms of the meaning or the synchronicities, we might say, behind all of these various events. There's so much that can be said about that. But again, I want to invite and encourage people to visit theharmonicfactor.com, visit our resources on Facebook. They can find us at Harmonic Convergence 2020 to 2028, where we go into far greater detail. They can find some great articles as well at Medium at The Harmonic Factor. That's medium.com/at The Harmonic Factor. And there's a lot more detail there to get into explaining what you see in the illustrations that we present. These rich graphics are designed by my collaborator, Reuben Genus, who is a bona fide timekeeper par excellence. He is so devoted to making this information conscious, and he's among others as well who are time trackers in their own regard and who are also part of the awakening process that we're collectively experiencing. So again, I invite you to visit those resources, theharmonicfactor.com, where you'll find a lot more information that elaborates on this. One thing I also want to make conscious is, obviously, we are now in the beginning of a new moon. And I'm not an astrologist, but I want to say we're in the new moon in Aries. Is that correct? Are we in the new moon in Aries? New moon in Aries? Okay, just to be clear, that's not my forte. But just to share that we are in a new moon in Aries. I happen to be in Aries, so I'm feeling all kinds of feels personally right now. But with that said, we're also just passing the equinox point. That's where you have the balance of day and night, where they're perfectly 12 hours each, right? And so we just passed that on the 20th of March, a few days ago, and that's a very significant experience for us as a planet to also be passing through. And I'm sure people have their own experiences that they can remark on with regard to that. I would also say one interesting thing, if you're paying attention, and maybe you're experiencing this and not necessarily aware of what may be behind it, and there I am. Also, let me put myself up in the proper screen. Over here, I see that is definitely not the one I intended. But what's happening here is we're also passing through a very significant window of increased solar activity. Now, I'm not sure how many folks are really tracking this kind of thing. It's something we pay very close attention to because we are in what I'd be inclined to call the coming of the solar age. This is a period of enlightenment and awareness raising, but also it's amplified by the fact that we're navigating this 13-day cycle that's energized by the sun itself. And I am happy to bring onto screen my brother Reuben, who has just tapped in with us from Mexico. I want to invite him on to kind of come in and join the conversation a little bit, just so we can help articulate some of these significances as I've begun to speak on. So give me one moment, and I'll pull Brother Reuben into the visual here in a quick moment. And thank you again to everybody out there tuning in this experience with us. We'll make sure your microphone is on, and hopefully, Reuben, can you hear me? Are you able to hear me there, Reuben? Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, perfect. Wonderful connection.
Okay, let me. Okay, because I don't know if you could. Is this a background now? Is this okay?
Background is fine. Yeah, we hardly hear it at all. So thank you so much. I was just kind of setting up the.
There's a little bit of a delay.
Okay, I was just setting up the conversation with regard to some of the significant aspects that we've been experiencing this past several days as we navigate through the solar or the sun wave spell, the 13-day cycle that culminates tomorrow on the cosmic human day. But we've been riding this 13-day cycle since magnetic sun. And I was sharing with folks that we're also in an interesting window there where there's an incredible increase in solar activity. And so we're seeing this manifest in a variety of ways, but I'd love to invite you, just jump on in and feel free to share from your perspective some of the more important points to share, just to make aware, to make conscious at this time. And let everybody know where you're also calling in from.
Yeah, well, I'm calling from the Pacific coast of Mexico. I'm in the coast of Oaxaca, at a southern tip of land of the continent. So this used to be like an astronomical observatory. The name is Punta Cometa, and we are right at in this place. Two tectonic plates meet. So yesterday we had like a powerful couple of quakes, it's probably part of this process that is happening, connecting with what you were saying, because we already know that when solar activity increases, the geomagnetic field of the earth.
Finally tonight here, look to the sky. It is the spectacular view seen across the country, the northern lights visible for millions of Americans. In Rollinsford, New Hampshire, a photographer capturing this time lapse over 93 minutes. In North Carolina, just north of Boone, the town lights below.
Solar activity of solar cycle 25. So this solar is an 11.3 year cycle that started in 2019, was officially opened by scientists, and now we are entering to the crest of the cycle. So we are going to see solar activity increase, and as it increases, of course, we are going to see more shift in the electromagnetic field of the earth, in the Schumann resonance, and in our lives, because we are part of this consciousness that is permeating the earth, and is called solar consciousness. So the intelligence of the sun drives all life on earth. Without the light of the sun, like any species could really make it. So as within the Solkin cosmology, we happen to be right now in the 13 moon calendar, in the solar moon of intention. So the energy of the solar energy is present, and we are in the 260-day galactic count on yellow magnetic sun. And on yellow magnetic sun, precisely, there was like a very rare solar flare that ejected the plasmas and parts of the solar corona into space, hurtling at a 3,000 kilometer per second or speed. So fortunately, that was not Earth directed, because that would have been, according to some of the experts in suspicious observer channel, as a very difficult event for the grid to hold. So we could be back to the Stone Age in one instant, and these events like these are little reminders for us to really contemplate the fact that the sun is the director of the orchestra of evolution here on Earth. And as we tune into these activations and really make them conscious in space and time, we are grounding these energies so that we can keep the organic plan of evolution on schedule, which is what we have been really doing since the light vigil that was held for the solstice, and now we just crossed the equinox point. So
Right.
the two, the equinoctial point is also like a crucial intersecting point in the year, perfect day, perfect balance between day and night. So that day happened to synchronize on the ancient Maya long count with the first day of the 260-day cycle, and with the completion of 13,000 days from the harmonic convergence, which is this new consciousness. The term solar consciousness was coined by Dr. Jose Arguelles back in I think since the time of probably Earth ascending, in which he started to map these cycles of the sun, especially the sunspot cycle, and started to notice that this pulse of the sun will affect the rise and fall of civilizations and the shifts in society that will bring us to the next phase. And right now we are precisely in that ascending curve the of the activation. Yeah, this is a very easy way to thank you for sharing in screen. We can see that right in the middle of this 13-day cycle of the sun was the equinox portal, and the 13,000 day marker from this new consciousness of bringing a new harmonic standard of time on Earth, which is the dates that we see on the image that starts with the letters N and S, that stands for the new Sirius cycle. So this is called the new Sirius chronology, and in the new Sirius chronology we are precisely on new Sirius cycle 1.35. That means that it was 35 years ago that the harmonic convergence started. Actually 36. It's just that we start with the and it's 1.0. So the Maya used to count the zero, so we actually observe the zero here too. And we are in a few days, just in 4 days, on kin 55, we complete the 13,000 kin from the harmonic convergence. So this window in between the equinox that we completed the 13,000 days and kin 55 is a potent window of synchronization, because as we mentioned probably on the episode that we did for the closing of the last Solkin, every 50 Solkins we complete 13,000 days. But because within those 13,000 days we have we need to contemplate 8 extra days, which are the leap days in containing within those 36 years, 36 years. We are in that recalibration window of the 8 leap years, of the 8 leap days, in which we are transforming at a very rapid pace. It's amazing the amount of synchronicities, the colors that the auroras are displaying are just out of this world.
Yeah,
And
really,
the shape,
time is art. Time is
the
art. It's a
shape of
real
the aurora,
display.
it's curving around the poles, and we had a solar tornado starting the wave spell like on the North Pole. So we have these what we were speaking before off camera, that there is a very clear synchronization between the activity of the sun and the cycles of time.
Absolutely.
The tornado is like a vortex, a spiral, and it's created by the magnetic fields of the sun. So what are the chances that on yellow magnetic sun we had like a major flare, a major explosion, and after that huge, because it's hard for us to imagine the size of these vortices, but you can imagine like it's probably many sizes of a hurricane. So but it's happening on the sun. So there
Exactly.
is the more we make these connections conscious, the more we start to embody the solar consciousness and be able to appreciate with full consciousness the phenomena that this solar consciousness creates, which is these amazing colors and displays someone was commenting on harmonic converging space today in one of the images from Norway, that it was incredible how something, an event that can put us back into the Stone Age, could be so beautiful, because the displays are. But I honestly, I think that because there is a critical mass of humanity right now that is grounding this incredible amount of energies that are, especially light activations,
Yes. Yeah.
that what we are being able to witness them in real time.
Mm-hmm.
So the process is already grounding, especially with everything that happened around the equinox, many ceremonies of many traditions coming together and really making balance and harmony the priority.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure that despite our differences and our different opinions and beliefs, we are human beings and we are part of this larger plan of evolution. So
Right.
we are here just to serve the earth and to really work with the energies that the earth and the sun are providing to shift reality in real time with our minds.
Mm-hmm.
We forget that our thoughts have a direct there's a feedback between what is happening out there and what is happening in our heads. So the more we can entertain these images of the circumpolar rainbow bridge and appreciate these plasmas forming on earth and seeing it like a work of art really taking place in real time, then we can feel or embody the shift in, in a very unique way,
Mm-hmm.
becoming antenna for these energies and these frequencies to really ground.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, you make a lot of great points. So I wanted to take a second and ask you briefly, kind of talk a little bit about, you mentioned the fact that the sun's activity right now could have such an effect to take us back to the Stone Age, so to speak. And by
Hmm.
that, you mean it could actually take out all of the telecom and all the satellites and things like that. If the sun
Hmm.
all but, hiccups or sends a plasmic burst like that of great significance, it could have that kind of impact. Now, I also relate that to the idea that Arguelles referred to the internet as proto-telepathy, right?
Hmm.
As a sort
Hmm.
of stage in the process of becoming fully telepathic beings. That's
Hmm.
actually what we're moving into. But
Hmm.
maybe briefly, and I say briefly just because we have a couple of things to get into with a limited time,
Yeah.
but just kind of speak to that a little bit. And also, if you could touch on the gatherings, the prophetic gatherings, in fact, that we know are happening right now that have just
Hmm.
both commenced and completed in Palenque. I want to
Hmm.
connect that back to the fact, as you also said, that on 12/12, 22, which would have been December 12th, 2022, myself and yourself and several others were part of
Hmm.
activating the
Hmm.
light energetic as part of something we were compelled to do. Like nobody asked us to do it. We just felt drawn and compelled to hold ceremonial space to acknowledge this important passage. On one hand, it was the 52nd birthday of our friend Manifest Ra, but on the other hand, it was also an open portal window 10 days leading up to then the winter solstice, and then we've just crossed the equinox, as you mentioned. So if you don't mind, just briefly mention as well some of these prophetic gatherings that are happening right now, and how that factors in.
Yeah. Well, I, the fact that people come together at these archaeological sites, especially in the case of Palenque, where this transmission of of these codes and this information is anchored, is of immense symbolic relevance, because all the activity and all the intentions of these human beings that come to these places to call the harmony, to call the return of the ancestral wisdom, to bring peace and resolution to our differences, to share their traditions. They interact with the morphogenetic fields of these places, and we start to see more miracles and more um, meaningful coincidence happening. So the regarding the reunion in Palenque of elders and indigenous traditions, as far as and I did my own research on what Chief Phil Lane was trying to accomplish, is to really bring the fulfillment of the prophecy of the reunion of the condor, the eagle, and now, as part of the prophecy, is also the quetzal and the hummingbird, because the condor and the eagle represents the south and the north, but the heart is everything that is that represents this land. All what it's called here, the Anahuac, which is the ancient name for all this land that now is today Mexico, and it's parts of also of Texas and New Mexico and California were also part of this big land of mass, and mass of land. And the significance of Palenque is that the event in Palenque is that this prophecy was given to Chief Phil Lane 52 years ago on July 9th, 1970. And this happens to be the 13th day of the 13th moon. And so it's a big renewal. Every 52 years, the two wheels come back to the same point. So the 260-day cycle and the 365 solar cycle come back to the same place, and that it's synchronized with the ancient count to on one image, which is the first day of, at least on the Yucatec Maya, on the Yucatec count, is the first day of the 260-day calendar. So if this equinox is synchronizing with that date, that mean, and we know that the equinox marks the start of the season in this part of the start of the season of spring in this part of the world. We can see this as a very, very important new beginning. So a new council was elected. We can see on the image that you have on screen the Sacred Council of the Union, and 13 brothers and sisters of different traditions were elected by a larger group of people, a larger set of, let's say, peace ambassadors, to guide the council in the next for the next 52 years, or at least the first. There is a generational shift. There is a shift also in the balance of the council, which now is comprised by 7 women and 6 men, youngers and elders alike. So it's we can really perceive the generational passing of the torch, and the shift that is taking place within and without us, as a individual level and as a group level. And these are gatherings that because of the divine timing that they take place, they really help us to bring all this memory and all this wisdom back to the present, and thanks to the help of the technology that we have right now, we can share them on real time, and make people around the world at least participant from the distance of this energy that is being anchored in real time at these sacred places. I lost your.
No, I took my volume
Yeah.
off. Okay. But as you said, I mean, it's very powerful. We're navigating again the yellow sun wave spell. And we know that this energy, all this prophetic coming together, is happening under the auspice of the sun. I think you mentioned something earlier that what we're seeing now, in a way, are reminders of the fact that the sun runs the show as far as our earth plane is concerned. And we want to definitely heighten our vibration to be more attuned to the earth as a sentience, a living energy that we're all informed by one way or the other. So I think it's a beautiful thing. As you said, we have the chance to use technology to help make these things conscious in more real time. And I want to encourage people who are interested in tracking the sun's activity more closely to tune into spaceweather.net, for example, and other resources you can find online to begin to understand the sun's activity. Because when you have an M-class or an X-class solar flare, or you have, for example, the solar tornado that we saw happening the past week or so, eventually those effects from the sun do, and in some cases more directly than others, impact the earth, right? And so we see that in the form, some people, for example, will feel it as pressure in the head. You think it's a sinus headache, for example, but it's not. It's actually the pressure of the sun's energy, just making its way through our solar system as our planet gets washed in all this plasmic radiation. And then, as you also mentioned, that's what gives rise to these incredible auroras that people have been able to witness the past couple of days, like phenomenal auroras. That also connects to a deliberate practice, because we like to focus on solutions and creatives. It's part of the movement ethos, is to focus on the solutionaries and the creatives. Well, one such solution that we've identified, that we've been guided to through our own pathway, is an awareness of something called the Circumpolar Rainbow Bridge meditation. And that is a practice through which we actually become, I would say, transmitters and receivers in relationship with the sun's energy to consciously direct the plasmic essence, we may say, that's being emitted from the sun to operate with our own physical spacesuits. We have the chakras, for example, that the plasmic energies, as light, it's also information. And there are codes in that. Now, if we can get into the process or the practice of actually being receptive to them, then we can actually direct the energy consciously, even telepathically, we might say, to get ourselves coordinated with this sun's regenerative activity. And that's the interesting thing. As though some things may look destructive, I think the bigger picture is that it's all regenerative. It's all part of this process of regenerative nature. We know there's a big movement around the world now shifting people from this notion of so-called sustainability into regenerative culture. The idea you can sustain an injury, but, we want to regenerate these qualities of life and really create a true balance with things. So I just wanted to point that out. We're going to share some footage here, actually. One of the things I find so interesting at this time is because we are all connected. There's one planet here. There's really one mind, we could say. And we're all participating in this experience together. Now, we have our various lenses. And many people tune into the mainstream lens, for example. Now, what's interesting is, as much as mainstream media largely is used to control a narrative, right, and to direct consciousness in a particular way, every newscast, you might notice, tries to end with some human interest story or some unbelievable thing happening that would tend to lighten our hearts, perhaps lighten our consciousness. So they spend 27 minutes, reporting on news that's very psychologically, upsetting in a lot of cases. But then they take that last 30 seconds to do a feature on something warm and fuzzy. Well, I thought it was interesting, though, that I happened upon a piece of mainstream news the other day that I just had to share today, just given the divine timing, like you said. It's David Moore and ABC News doing a report in that last 30-second window because they couldn't ignore the phenomena of these auroras. When auroras start to reach the state of Virginia, you know something's happening, because reaching Virginia means reaching Washington, D.C. You better believe it. So the reality of it is these auroras, this conscious energy, and we're going to get into a little bit later also how people can begin to really invoke and invite and imagine this energy operating in harmony and synchronicity with their very selves. This energy is, as you said before, painting this amazing picture in our night skies. Time is art. It's exquisite. It's beautiful. It's these colors you can't even make up. You can't create these colors in a mundane palette of color. So it just goes to show the magnificence of the creation that we're having an opportunity to witness. And as you say, also share in near real time. I want to thank you, Brother Reuben, for all of your tireless work in helping make this something that we cannot ignore. Make this something that, at least for those who are seeking the truth, they'll find the resources at theharmonicfactor.com to be a great help. We invite people to come to Harmonic Convergence 2020 to 2028 on Facebook. Get involved with us there. We have some great tools as well. People will find when they do a little digging with our resources and things like that, theharmonicfactor.com. And they'll also find some incredible articles that you've been writing for the past few years and chronicling at Medium at the Harmonic Factor. So I just want to acknowledge you for your tireless work. I mean, you're so devoted to this, and it's a true inspiration. And I know you don't hear it enough, but thank you. Deep, deep love and gratitude, brother, from my heart to yours, and on behalf of the family of humanity that is awakening to realize the merit and the value, the importance of making these things conscious, presenting them to us in such a way. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. I'm going to go ahead and share that clip, though, because I just think it's really, really something, and very, very timely, so to say. But again, thank you, Brother Reuben. I know you're going to make your way to the local ceremonial dance that's happening there in Oaxaca. And so we send our well wishes to all our relatives there who are celebrating life in such a beautiful and honorable way. But I'd love if you have any last remarks before we go to this clip. Feel free.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, just adding a couple of cents to what you so well described, and thank you so much for your appreciation. And for me, it's really an honor to be able to come to these realizations in real time and share them with more people around the world who can appreciate the magic. It's just a miracle that is happening every day, and we kind of lose perspective, especially when the news are tainted with so much noise and news that are designed to lower our frequency. When we make these events conscious, our brains entrain. Our brains are connected to the global brain, which is the noosphere, the mind of the earth, and we start to fire coherent charges, and we start to resonate with the larger patterns in the cosmos. Really, literally, we are becoming. Jose used the term cosmic vibratory roots. We are cosmic vibratory roots, who are like the equivalent of the little hairs around the cell, the membrane, that are really making the bridge between the outside world and the inside world. So we are that as conscious conduits for these energies to ground. Every time that we have an aha moment, every time that we connect the beauty of what is happening at such a large scale, like the sun, such
Mm-hmm.
a we take it for granted every day and every night, but it's amazing what is happening every day, and we are hurtling through space at tremendous speeds, and this is the creation unfolding.
Mm.
So it's such a it's just graceful to be able to share this and have the moments of elation and expansion with more people around the earth who can connect to the documenting of this activation of the earth's light body, because this is what is happening. This is what
Yes.
the meditation of the Rainbow Bridge is all about. Is all life emits like a light body. We are beings
Yes.
of light
Yes.
in disguise with a suit, a 3D suit. So the moment that we activate or tune in with these energies, there is a fractal process happening. The Earth is activating her light body. We are activating our light body. So what an amazing time to be alive and make this conscious and do our best so that more people can make it conscious and seeing what is happening, and
Mm-hmm.
putting our attention there. All the positive that is happening in the background that we tend to not be able to see because of the nospheric pollution. We have talked about the nospheric pollution before. All these news, all these thought forms that are just distractions of the real show taking place, which is
The
the
real
world that you
news.
are going. The
It's
real news.
it's exciting though, because again, I think these worlds are having by necessity to collide. It's like the sun is saying, "Hey, look, y'all can't ignore me. I made you.
Mm,
Wake up, snap
mm,
out of it, elevate your consciousness." And I'm here to help you do it beautifully and elegantly, even,
mm,
in ways that are beyond our ability to really explain, even though there is a science to this. And that's where the Rainbow Bridge meditation does come into play, because it's applying a meditative science. It's
mm,
turning yourself into um, effectively a unit of the sun's energy. That's one
mm.
way of considering that. And so with that, brother, thank you so much, and so honored again for your presence on the planet. And without further ado, we'll go ahead to this clip, and then we'll share the new Rainbow Bridge meditation. I said medication. It is a medication also, but Freudian slip, right? But the meditation that Ishel Esta is narrating, with the meditation coming from Foundation for the Law of Time, and we're super grateful to share that as well. But thank you, brother Reuben Genus, and continued Godspeed and synchronicity, grace and balance to you, brother.
Thank you so much, Brother Makua, for creating the space, and we are approaching also like a very special Earth Day. It's important to let people know that the coming
It's a
Earth
big
Day
one.
is going to become is on Kin 79 blue magnetic storm, which happens to be the no-sphere constant. So that's a beautiful, amazing synchronicity to celebrate Earth Day 53. So we
Yeah.
closed 52 last year, and the first year of this regeneration is happening on no-sphere constant day. So
It's
what a
impeccable. It's the timing is impeccable, actually. And just to say that here we are on the solar moon in the sun wave spell, with the
Mm,
sun going off with such incredible energy right now,
mm,
and we'll showcase that in a moment. And then to know that next moon, planetary moon, is the moon of manifestation. So now, how
mm,
are we
mm,
going to guide the consciousness? What are we manifesting with that fact? Because we already see it's already lining up for us. So
mm, mm.
amazing, amazing. Everybody, please stay tuned. And again, we'll be, next moon celebrating the movement, which happens to coincide in synchronization with Earth Day on day 19 of the planetary moon, just like today is day 19 of the solar moon. We
Mm.
chose that 19 as that beat frequency for each moon. And it just so happens to line up with Earth Day 53 and all these other amazing, amazing celestial stellar events that are
Nice.
happening with us and for us. So, so with that said, again, brother, big gratitude, love and gratitude, and in Lakesh to you.
And Lakesh, thank you so much, brother.
Peace and love.
Thank you to you, Chef. Peace
Absolutely.
and love.
More love.
Finally tonight here, look to the sky. It is the spectacular view seen across the country, the northern lights visible for millions of Americans. In Rollinsford, New Hampshire, a photographer capturing this time lapse over 93 minutes. In North Carolina, just north of Boone, the town lights below. In Standish, Maine, the dazzling light show. And in Graceville, Minnesota, the dancing streaks of light above the snow.
Look at that. Whoa!
In Fairbanks, Alaska, Vincent Ledvina capturing the stunning display. And take a look at this from the sky. Dakota Snyder taking these photos through an airplane window flying from LA to Phoenix. And this flight to Minneapolis. Just before landing, passenger Annie Scott Riley capturing this.
They're so gorgeous.
Tonight, NOAA saying a rare geomagnetic storm is pushing the lights further south than usual. And this evening, NOAA says the lights could be visible from Washington State, clear across to Idaho, the Dakotas, Michigan, New York, all the way to Maine. The incredible display across this country. It's just breathtaking. I'll see you right back here on Monday. Good night.
This is the Rainbow Bridge Universal Peace Meditation. Before the meditation, it is good to take a few moments to clear your mind, dissolving all thoughts as they arise. Also focus on feeling love arise in your heart. When you feel your mind clear, then begin the visualization. Visualize yourself inside the Earth's octahedron crystal core. Feel your heart at the center of this crystal core, generating an intensely blazing point of white light. This light from your heart core creates an etheric column that extends to the north and south poles, from the blazing center to the tips of the octahedron. Now visualize a great stream of multicolored plasma-filled light emanating from your heart core and flowing along the central axis toward both of Earth's poles, shooting out from them to become two rainbow bands 180 degrees apart. As Earth revolves on its axis, this rainbow bridge remains steady and constant, unmoving. Feel the two streams of rainbow light rushing through your central column, shooting out from above your head and beneath your feet to create a rainbow bridge around your body. Now you and the rainbow bridge are one. The rainbow bridge of world peace is real, visualized by enough people in a telepathic wave of love. The rainbow bridge will become a reality.
Welcome back, everybody. And thank you for allowing us to debut that for you to the movement audience out there tuning in. That meditation that you experienced is called the Circumpolar Rainbow Bridge Peace Meditation, narrated by Ishel, and with visuals compiled from some various resources. She pulled that incredible video together as well. So it is an invitation for people to begin to make conscious this radiant energy, this plasmic energy. It is it's a part of life, really. And so now, as we are aware of it, we're finding ways to actually begin to integrate it into our consciousness, into our physical vessels, to really raise our vibration, frankly, and do some incredible transformative work. I mean, just imagine the energy of the sun itself, what that does. That generates life, it purifies life as well. So it's an incredible practice, and it's engaged every Celio day in the 13 moon calendar. That's on day 7 of every 7-day sequence every week, or what is otherwise referred to as a heptad, a 7-day cycle, that we observe the Circumpolar Rainbow Bridge meditation every Celio day. And it's people all around the world who have been observing this, making this practice a part of their lives, and have done so for several years in many cases. We're introducing it to folks now that they can become engaged in this and begin to find ways to interact with the sun energy and within their own meditation and their own process of personal transformation. With that said, I want to move into welcoming our guest today, which I'm very excited about, as she has been an avid supporter for the past few years of PR 1328, Planet Restoration, and recently the movement. She was also involved with the cohort of people who were collectively gathering around the 1212 light activation a few moons ago. She's been very supportive to all the works that we have been about here. And so it was quite natural that we wanted her to come on and share some of her own creative expression, as I've enjoyed watching her of late with her great videos and thoughts and various ways that she's been expressing her own personal transformative experience. And I think that is exactly how you do it. You just share from your own experience. And with that said, and without further ado, I'm going to invite TPH, known as T, to the screen. And I will say her Earth name is Tiera, and she is commonly known as T, spelled T-I. And she's a artist, content creator, holistic mental health advocate, lover of nature, and has tremendous compassion for all of humanity. And we will also add that she is kin 64, the yellow crystal seed. So how appropriate that we be here today on a crystal day. And with that said, welcome to Tiera. Peace and blessings. Can you hear me there?
Peace. Yes, I can.
Awesome.
Thank
We hear.
you. Thank
Oh,
you,
thank
brother.
you. Thank you. I'm tremendously grateful that synchronicity has allowed us to share time space today. So thank you for being willing and joining this broadcast. And yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm
It's an honor
excited.
to be here.
Oh, right on. The honor is ours. Now, you are an author, and I noticed recently you have a new book that is soon to come out. Is it out yet? Or
Yeah,
it's available
it's
on
officially
platforms
out.
now? Okay, wonderful. We'll be sure to put links to that in the chat. I'll ask Michelle to do that so we can share
Okay,
where
I
people can
appreciate it.
find the book. And I know it is. I mean, I'm just excited because a lot of my backstory in the arts has been facilitating open mics many years ago back in Washington D.C. And so when there is a person who's published their new work, their authorship in the way you have, it's always a cause to celebrate. I know among those who are authors and poets with their own self-publishing like yourself, that's a huge accomplishment. So I wanted to acknowledge that firstly and congratulate you. And when I noticed you had that out there, I said, oh, we need to get her on the broadcast so she can share about that, you know? So thank
Yeah,
you and welcome.
thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, um, so yeah, this is my very first published poetry book, and like just really putting myself out there. I mean, obviously, I'm always sharing something, sharing my heart, my thought process, stuff like that. I think it's important that we just share ourselves. Some people are like really conservative about feelings, and that's okay, but like when we speak from our heart and our feelings, like we shed light in dark spaces from ourselves, kind of exposing ourselves, but it's also to help others who don't feel like they have a voice you
Yeah.
know and so it's just an honor to be able to do that and finally have my heart and my mind, different processes in a book, like for everybody to see, whoever wants to have access to it. So,
Mm-hmm.
so
Show
yeah,
us
it
the book.
is out officially.
Let's see it. Show us the book. You have
Oh,
it there? Oh, yeah.
yep,
That's what I'm talking about. Multiversed lyrics. That's right.
yes,
Excellent.
yes.
I'm
And
hoping
on
maybe.
the background, you probably can't see, but it's like it gives like a matrix effect. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
like the whole experience is just tapping into the matrix and figuring out like learning processes in the mind from my perspective, I obviously, and just sharing that experience on different levels, the highs and the lows.
Yes. The
So
entire range of our human experience. That's right.
yes.
It is definitely something to share, and I know many people will resonate and be able to relate with that. I'd love to invite you. In fact, maybe we can talk about it afterwards. But I'd love to invite you to read something from there, and we can kind of just go through it if you don't mind. I would love to hear something.
Okay,
Anything.
cool.
Yeah,
Uh,
whatever you're led to. Share one, and then we'll talk a little bit, and maybe you can share a couple more.
all right, cool,
Awesome. Thank you.
cool. Thank you. I'll start with Made Alive. It's called Made Alive. Energy flows through me like chills, chills like a vocalist hitting the greatest note of a lifetime, balancing out the faded wave of semi-sweet chocolate, intensifying its taste, repeatedly swaying, soaking in the environment's melody, increasing vision through spiritual eyesight, seeing without looking at other beings, feeling the same majestic vibe. All souls rise and come alive. Who says dry bones can't live? And that's called Made Alive.
Yes. Who says dry bones can't live? That's real. How long have you been writing? Like this
Ooh,
creative writing? Yeah, you're great.
Thank you. I've been writing since I was about 12 years old, maybe. Of course, it started in school, and we had a project where everybody had to write poetry, and one of my teachers read mine and was like, "Yeah, you should keep doing that." So
Mm-hmm.
it was more so like a diary, but then once I got really into it, it became art, like art from the heart.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Indeed. Maybe you should deliver that book to your teacher. They'd be, you know, they would probably love to learn that you've continued on that path, that literary path. It's amazing. Amazing. Now, where does your inspiration come
Thank
from? I
you.
mean, obviously from your own experience, but are there any other influences that inspire you as a writer?
Nature is the inspiration. Of course, like I'm surrounded by artists, so I mean, I don't have anybody in particular. I'm surrounded by all kind of artists from, all the like I've moved around a lot. So everybody I've always ran into some kind of artist, and I can't even point one person out. But the universe itself is the inspiration. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? The universe that we are individually and collectively is the inspiration.
Hmm.
And so
Fantastic. Now, may I ask, where were you born? Where did you embody
I
this
was
body?
oh yeah, for sure. I was born in Niles, Michigan, but I'm
Okay.
from Elkhart, Indiana, which is where I am now.
Okay.
So yeah,
Elkhart, Indiana, Midwest.
yep.
Would that be considered the Midwest? I don't know. It's like
Yes,
right
it's
on
the
the edge of the
Midwest.
Midwest, but we call it the Midwest. Okay, good.
I know, right? It's
Yeah.
way up top.
Yeah. Midwest, Elkhart. Okay. All right. Got the heart there. It's in the process. I would love to invite you to share another piece, please. This is great.
Okay. Um, so the next one is called The Root. The root, like I, grows. We are one. We can grow anywhere, strong and mighty, soak in the rain and rejuvenate with the richness of the sun. One with the wind, we are taken for granted. The standards hold no value. I dig deep to discover my roots. The more I dug, stretched myself out, I found another root. We grew together in numbers, in strength. We were oblivious as to what was going on above us. Great trees and plants of all sorts been growing in numbers. Life is evolving as we are, underneath the ground, deep and strong. And that's called The Root.
Powerful.
And
Powerful.
thank you.
Okay. Yeah, you have a gift. Like your writing is very vivid. So I can appreciate it because as I close my eyes and I tune into the words, I mean, it definitely illustrates imagery for me very much. Now, you said that you are surrounded by other creatives, artists. Tell me a little bit about that.
Um, well, as far as Indiana, mm, I don't like not so much here, but definitely Cincinnati. That's when I really stepped out of my closet, my artist closet. Like
Okay.
it was some artist soul composed and Mo poetry, which is my artist friend, and also she has a she just opened up a publication, so she helped me with this. You know what I'm saying? I came to her and she helped me get this published,
Oh, good.
and let's see, Siri Money, like it was a group called Tribe, and they are actually what is it, artivists. So they are
Mhm.
artists and activists, and that's where I learned about advocating for communities. You know what I'm saying? That's where I learned about activism. And I learned from Tribe how to use music and art to advocate for, you know what I'm saying, injustices, and for like whatever your passion is. That's how I learned how to do that and implement that into words, that turn into feelings. And like with a lot of my poetry, it's not long at all, because I feel like I don't need a lot of words. It's the vibration of the words that, create the feeling. And so I don't, a lot of my poems are not that long, but packed. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm. Potent,
But
potent, important. Oh, that's
potent.
great. Yeah, that's right. Now, it's interesting. I know you are a holistic mental health advocate. So share a little bit about what that means and how that finds its way in your experience and how that's expressing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So when I say like holistic mental health advocate, that's, from my own experience going through the trials and errors of taking medication, prescriptions and stuff like that, what that did to me psychologically, physically, emotionally, it made things worse for me, honestly. And I try to be careful with the language that I use, because you know what I'm saying, I don't want to disrespect anybody, but from my personal experience, I found holistic as far as going within, as far as changing the way that I eat. And I still struggle with that a little bit, but it's okay, because, I'm getting better, just being gentle with myself, and learning about the elements of nature, using the elements of nature as far as breathing, as far as sunlight, as far as water, moving around the chi within to move the body, you know, to that affects the depression or anxiety. And it's just so, I don't want to say complex, but um the way that things work so naturally when we use like holistic medicine, as far as
Mhm.
qigong, meditation, different things like that. When it comes to mental health, it's just so funny how that is the medicine, the best medicine, especially for myself. It's what has helped me for so long,
Mhm.
and of course therapy, that's a good thing. But just that's what I mean by holistic natural medicine. And it's life changing. It's really life changing. And and I advocate for that hands down, because that's what saved my life, you
Mm,
know
mm, mm.
and so I anytime somebody talk about mental health, I'm there. Energy, vibrations, frequencies, yes, let's talk about it.
Yes, yes.
So
Yeah, we need to
so
feel we need to feel more free to talk about those things too, because I know a lot of people are having very uh, personal experiences, but they don't necessarily feel like they have people they can talk with or have people that they can relate to. You know what I mean? So seeing somebody like you who's actually not only you're articulating it through your artwork and you're sharing, even I would imagine, your own processes in some cases through some of your poetry writing, I would imagine that others would find a kinship with you in that and maybe see or hear someone they can relate with. And I think that's truly invaluable. We all need somebody in our corner. We need that kind of community or that tribe, as you said. You need that support. I think that's right. Wow. Yeah, beautiful.
absolutely.
Now, in terms of natural places, being there in Indiana, Elkhart, is there a specific place you go? I think I saw a video. Maybe you created a video some time ago that was maybe a 3 or 4 minute video for one of the broadcasts. I think you submitted it to something that we shared it. It was incredible with your own original music, complimenting it too. I thought that was great. And now, is that a place nearby your home? Is that someplace you can go on the regular?
That particular park, no. Being out here, with the cold and stuff like that,
Yeah.
it can be hard, but it's like you have to have that drive in your heart, like, man, I gotta go outside, I gotta go touch a tree, I gotta, I have plants too, house plants. So
Yeah.
it's like whatever that place is, with places like Indiana where there's not much sun in different seasons, you have to tap into the inner sun if you can't find the sun outside. And just
Mm.
remember that no matter how much the sun is covered with clouds, the sun is still shining. So the
Hey,
sun is still shining no matter what, you
hey.
know? And just tapping in and connecting in that way, and just knowing we're still connected to the sun in that way. And
Mm.
that the part of the video, well, it was bits and pieces of me visiting like different parks, because I just love going to the park,
Wow.
wherever that might be. And I love going hiking. So in that video, that was bits and pieces of different hike trails and stuff, and discoveries and stuff like that. But it's even a place over here nearby. it's a, you know, it's small and it's privately owned, but I still like creep over there and connect with nature and talk to the trees a little bit and
Okay.
scurry back home. You know what I'm saying? Before it's any
Yeah.
problem, I just want
Where
to
it
talk to the
catches you.
trees for a minute. That's it.
Exactly. Exactly. No harm. I'm not here to do any harm. No doubt. And I remember in the video, you had some images of a deer, for example, that was definitely like engaged with you, it seemed like it was aware of you being there, filming. Maybe you were. I think.
Yes.
Yeah. That was powerful. I mean, just anything like that, interacting with nature. I certainly appreciate that. I mean, we live in Los Angeles, and we have a lot of nice park spaces, but you're inspiring me just to be more dutiful about getting out to them, because that's what it takes. We have to make the commitment to go make that connection. And I think that's exactly right. So more of that for each of us, for sure. And I'm wondering how you were, how it was resonating with you, what we were sharing about the sun's activity there at the top of the broadcast today. It's been going bananas.
Oh yeah, off the charts. Like within the past, what, like 3 4 days, it's been up like, what is it,
Up, up.
6 7 kp. I think we even hit 8 kp. Now
Yeah.
I don't know the term, not like the real, what that really is, the kp and stuff like that, but I know it's up there.
It's high.
And with a lot of us who are really sensitive to the energy of the solar flares and CMEs, coronal mass ejections that come from the sun,
Hmm.
a lot of us, we can feel it before the alerts even go off. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you feel very lethargic, tired, sleepy, like you talked about the head pressure, the appetite changes. We go through emotional changes, old things come up to be cleared. You know, this is all
Mm.
the medicine too. The sun, the solar flares, this is information,
Yeah.
enlightenment. It's all a part of the ascension process.
Mm.
So yeah, I get geeked about that too because it's a real experience.
It is. It is. It's amazing just seeing the auroral activity as it's now being documented as well. It's like, yeah, I'm imagining it's been going on for a mighty long time. It's just now, I think as a species, we're even more inclined because of now the ability to film these things or get the information from NOAA, the whole with NASA and all of their observatory technology. I mean, it's phenomenal that we are, as Reuben was saying, watching all this stuff happen in real time. So it's literally the transformation of our consciousness and our physiology happening in real time. And if we are sensitive and paying attention, like you said, we're going to definitely be able to observe in ourselves the changes that we're going
Oh
through.
yeah.
This is a very personal experience I think all of us are going through. As much as it's collective, we're also each having our own personal engagement with it, we might say. Yeah, that's great.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I think being able, like a lot like mental wellness, mental health, I think being able to talk about these, seemingly, I mean, it could be considered paranormal, but it's not paranormal. I mean, we're actually seeing it. It's not a paranormal activity. It's normal. We're just paying attention
Yeah.
to it now. But it's important, like wellness and mental health advocacy, to be able to talk about these things so we can normalize a conversation about the sun's activity on our human being, right? On our planet as a
Yes.
whole, and not be just in the lower conversation about the geopolitical conflicts happening or things of that nature. All of that is important, obviously, but it's not the only thing happening. And perhaps a lot of that could be either mitigated or exacerbated by the sun's activity too, if we were to just be aware that that is affecting us and maybe affecting our decision making and our behavior as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's so fascinating, like the more I dig deep into mental health, um it's I'm starting to realize more and more that it's more than just a scientific thing. Like this is like when we get to understand that we're multidimensional beings, we come to understand that like anxiety, depression, things like that, it's more than just a scientific, like a diagnosis. It's our soul calling out to us. It's
Mm.
sending us messages. You know what I'm saying? Especially like there was just this crazy spike out of nowhere with this mental health thing. And it's like, where did it come from? Well, when the sun start activating, you know what I'm saying? Like our brains everything trying to register. It's like, what the heck is going on? Is conflicting with the matrix of this world, this created reality, with our souls. Our souls already know who we are. And it's like, no, it's stepping out, trying to step out of that shell. Like, no, something is going on. Something's not right. And it's asking us, almost commanding us to go within, find out what this anxiety is, what this depression is. And it literally becomes a superpower once we really like tap into it. And of course, it's not something that you pick up and, you know what I'm saying, you calibrate and become a perfection with overnight. It can be a long process, which is why we have each other, which is why I'm always willing to talk about it so vastly, anytime, intimately, you know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Well, thank you for that. I'd love to invite you, share one more piece with us. I would love to hear one more. This is incredible.
Okay. Thank you. So this last one here is called Seventh Sense. Separation is nonsense. My seventh sense says all is one. But then there's the complex situation that chimes in when the two eyes see brutality across the nation. Is what we're seeing real? Is this how I want to feel? I don't, but what I see gives lower vibrational feels. Can I heal while the rest of the world heals with me? Fake world tells me ain't no hope in trying. We have no hope. No need to figure out this God-forsaken world. I see the same no matter who wants to blame. Love, real love changes things, like the paranoid thoughts of danger around the corner and everybody wants to hurt me. Mm-mm. Love changes all things by moving forward and trusting. Love is in seventh sense and does not live in fear, but in presence, knowing that presence changes presence. That's the seventh sense.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you, bro.
Oh, that's amazing. I love the title. You had me at the title because great title, already provoking thought before you even began. That's amazing. Wow. Love. That's right. The fake world. We're kind of talking about that. You got that narrative. And it's interesting to see, even like with that little news clip from the ABC National News, showcasing all these auroras. It's like, yeah, this is majestic. You can't deny it. Even when the world is going through all these other layers of turmoil, let's not neglect to recognize we live inside this amazing heliocosm, with our sun that is, doing amazing things, calling us to attention. It is incredible. Yes. And I love that. Seventh sense. That's right. Yeah, I love that. That's a great piece. We need more of that. We need to tap into our seventh sense. Obviously, the number 7 holds a lot of meaning in many, many, many different ways, right? But I like that. I like the elevation of that idea. We obviously we hear about sixth sense, and you just took it a step further. I love it. And I'm getting a little memo here. I'm getting a little memo here from our producer in the back. She's saying, wow, it says this in the KP, like you mentioned, the KP rate, it says in the range 8 to 9, which is exactly what it was this past Friday. The aurora will move even further towards the equator, and it will become very bright and very active. And it goes on to say these are the events that create the best aurora in the extended aurora oval, which is observable by most people. And at these levels, aurora may be seen directly overhead from the northern states of the U.S. So in Indiana, I wouldn't be surprised, as cloud cover depending, you guys are probably seeing all sorts of interesting things in the night sky. I would have to imagine.
Yeah. My eyes are always to the sky. In Michigan, we're like at the tip top or the bottom of Michigan. Okay. The very bottom of Michigan is where Elkhart is. So I'm always looking towards Michigan because that's the northern part of the United States. I'm thinking we can probably see something real soon.
Yeah, I'm thinking so too. And we know that the solar activity is going to increase over the coming years because we're in now, I think, the upswing of what is a solar maximum cycle between now through 2025.
Yep.
So I'm imagining that you're going to see some major light shows out there from your vantage. And hopefully you'll be able to share some of that. Maybe you can take some footage of it too, put that in some of your videos, and who knows what this is going to bring
Oh, you
creatively.
know I'm gonna be on it.
I'm already knowing. I'm already
I'm
knowing.
gonna be on
But we are
it.
so grateful for your presence on the planet. I really want to thank you for taking the time to tap in with us today, last moment's notice, and you're going through the motions of us on the technical side, getting it done, and so much appreciation for your being and your contributions to the planet right now. And we look forward to someday soon getting a chance to meet you in person, and maybe if you find your way
I
out to
hope so.
LA, keep us posted, let us know. And I'm trusting your art and your creative path are going to take you places you can't even begin to imagine. That's usually the way it works. So more of that, and we,
Yes.
wish you all the best in that. And we're so grateful to consider you a friend and count you as part of our community, knowing you're out there, anchoring that light and that magnetic energy right where you're at. So we know all good things are coming along the path for you, without a doubt. And we're so grateful for you. Let people know how they
Much
can
love.
be in touch, how they can find out more. We have been broadcasting the link tree right here for folks to see. But if there's any other way directly they should be in touch, let's let the people know. Let them know.
Absolutely. So if you let me see my sorry, my brain is going.
That's all right.
So my email address, if you want to get in contact with me, if you want to link, like collaborate on some kind of project, whatever, my email address is tieyesee@gmail.com. As far as the link tree is link tree, it's really weird, but it's TICPH. And you can always contact, if you don't want to go through all of that, just Tiera T Love on Instagram. That's the simplest. That's the
Tiera T
simplest. Or
Love.
YouTube, Tiera PH.
Right on. And all those links, I think Ishel's probably been putting your link tree on the chat and everything too.
I see it. Perfect.
Okay, great. Excellent. Yeah, no doubt. So we're going to encourage people to go out and check out your work. Make sure we encourage people to go get that book. They can order their copy from wherever locations that you have your book available. We're so excited. I look forward to ordering a copy myself so we can have one on deck
Thank you.
and be able to share that good energy with folks out there as well. But thank you.
Much
Thank you
love.
so much, and wishing well to all your relatives out there in Indiana, and to the family and the tribe, the community. And yeah,
Right.
thank you for your presence again. Much love and respect, and we'll tap in with you very, very soon. All
Thank you,
right.
family.
Oh,
Love
you
y'all.
are absolutely welcome. Peace and blessings.
Peace.
Indeed. And that was Tiera TPH, and you can find her on Linktree, linktr.ee/TIPHEYESEE. And you can look for that link in the chat as well. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. As we said, there's been a whole lot going on. We want to invite my brother Bilal to come up on screen. I think he tapped in for a second, and I think he's back. So I want to wait for him to tune in real quick. We want to make some announcements. Our friends at Unify were hosting a wonderful initiative on World Water Day, which was a couple of days ago. And it's inviting people to make a 7-day, they call it the 7-day water experience. So they're inviting folks to basically, I guess they're inviting folks basically to just for 7 days drink nothing but water and see how that experience changes them. Now, I know I'm an avid coffee drinker. So I said, okay, let me go ahead and I'm going to take the opportunity to gift myself this water experience for 7 days. So beginning on the next wave spell, I'm going to take that first 7 days and just see how I like it. I love water. Now, it's not the only thing I like to drink. However, it is the most essential thing that I could drink for sure. And also kind of bringing an awareness to how we can program our water, I think takes it to another level, because if I can meditate and energize my water with my positive thoughts and my upful energy, then I'm anticipating some probably measurable benefit for my own physiology, my own mind state, my own well-being. So I'm excited to engage in that. And I wanted to share this little video clip, and then I'm going to bring Brother Bilal on. But just to let y'all know about this and invite people to consider how they may want to engage and participate in this water invitation. As I load the video here, again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in with us for the movement today. We're so grateful you're here. And I think you'll find some information and inspiration in this video. And again, we encourage folks to get involved and do whatever you can to, transform yourself, be a gift to yourself. And one of the easiest ways to do that is through some sunlight. We got plenty of that with these auroral activities and water. So thank you again, everybody, and check this out.
Water. Our world is mostly water, and the same water's been here for over 4 billion years. It's watched all life bloom on this planet. From the explosion of life in the sea to the giant redwood forests covering the land. And then she watched us evolve to this form of consciousness where we are asking, is the water alive? Does it remember? Can it respond to our thoughts? And modern science is affirming that it does, that water does have memory. If the water is alive, wouldn't we treat it differently? Wouldn't we want to be in healthy relationship with the largest force on the planet? Wouldn't we want to be better partners? And what if the water is alive? What do you believe? How are you choosing to experience water? It boils down to you. And if you're choosing to be overly skeptical, it blocks some of your ability to feel wonder. But if you choose to be more open-minded, there's a potential for true connection. And in this deeper relationship, we come to know that water is love. So come on a 7-day guided journey with us to change the way you experience water. But just take 7 days to be a little more mindful about your water, to have some respect for your water. And sign up for the 7-day experience at waterislove.com.
Right on. So we invite you to visit waterislove.com to learn more about that 7-day experience invitation. And maybe you'll join me on the upcoming magnetic Skywalker wave spell for those first 7 days of the new 13-day cycle to embark on a water-only experience. I'm going to give it a shot myself, and I trust it's going to be incredible. I want to go ahead and invite my good brother Bilal Samadhi to tap in to the movement frequency today. What's up, brother B?
Greetings,
Giving
family.
thanks.
Peace.
Good to see you, bro. Thank you so
Likewise.
much.
Bless.
Yeah, man. Thank you so
Great
much.
show so far.
Oh, it's been
Grateful.
good, man. Good vibes, and certainly
Thanks.
complimented by your presence as well. So we give thanks for you on the planet. What's happening down in ATL? What's the latest?
Yeah, everything's going good. Yeah, we definitely been as far as hard work, ancient future and beyond. We've been out at Black Wall Street on the weekends. It's a great vibe up there.
Mm-hmm.
And Atlanta, there's always something popping out here. So,
Atlanta. Always
you know.
something popping there, for sure,
Mhm.
without a doubt. Excellent. And what else is happening? What's most alive for you creatively, though? I know you mentioned heart work. Talk a little bit about that, where that's at with you right now.
Yeah. As of right now, with hard work, I have my jewelry, as well as the prayer beads, as well as I just finished my website as well.
Oh,
So
word.
people can go and experience some of what hard work is. I have a few guided meditations up there, as well as some jewelry that people can purchase straight from the website. And there's some events coming up as well, so just stay tuned. Definitely.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I'm excited for the
Um,
website. That's great. Make sure we
yeah,
shout
get
that
that.
out to folks, heartworkonline.com. Make sure you go there and talk a little bit about your jewelry, because we hear jewelry and that may mischaracterize it, because I think yours is really technology,
It is. It is.
probably more than just ornamental jewelry, though it is good for that as well. But talk a little bit about the technology side and how one might actually apply or utilize the jewelry for personal transformation.
Okay. Um, well, I would say first of all, some of what I've posted recently and a lot of what I make deals with copper.
Mm.
And copper is known to be antifungal and antibacterial type of thing as well. So, as well as it's great for arthritis.
Mm.
Um, so, yeah, it's definitely more on like a medicine, basically,
Hmm.
wearable medicine to some degree.
Wearable medicine. I know I have this beautiful piece you blessed me with that actually features the Hunab Ku kind of frequency 21 beads. Now, do you do custom pieces for folks too? Like you'll
I
customize if they
do,
reach out?
do.
Oh, good.
Um, Website, there's a section where you can send me a note, with specifics,
Okay.
and I will get back to you, and I can do it. We can make it happen. Because
Okay.
also do like prayer bracelets as well.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, yep, yep,
Nice, nice. I'm gonna run this little clip if you don't mind, just to share with folks the vibe so they can get some eyesight on it and
yeah.
encourage
Thank
folks to go to the website. Stand by for me. Be right back. And thank you everybody for tuning in to the movement right here, right now. Nice.
you.
Just for some
Nice.
flavor, just to check it out, give a little flavor. Encourage people to
Uh,
go to heartworkonline.com. And Michelle just sent over some really great info on the benefits of copper. I mean, it's amazing. She really
yeah,
went in
there's lots
here.
of benefits there.
Lots of
And
benefits for that.
I would just mention before you jump in,
Yeah.
on that clip, I have some pieces with some onyx, a great grounding stone, protection, spirituality.
Hmm.
I have a piece with rose quartz on there
Okay.
as well. So yeah, I tie in the stones as well. So
Nice. Yeah,
it's,
no doubt. And I see this, what she shared says it's also been shown that wearing a copper bracelet like the ones that you depicted in that, little rotary thing there, it says it results in a weight loss in excess of the body's total burden of copper. Interesting. A pair of copper bracelets uh, lost 80 milligrams in 50 days when worn around the ankles, and a copper bracelet worn around the wrist also lost about 90 milligrams in that time. So I guess what this is saying, I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know what this is saying actually. I'm only reading it for the first time now. Is that saying that the density of the copper is lessened because the body is absorbing the copper, perhaps?
that's what it sounds like. I
Yeah.
mean,
That,
and that's what copper does as well.
Right. Okay. So it's interesting because we were doing some research recently on copper as a supplement, right? How you might need other supplements like iron or things like that. But it's
Mm-hmm.
said that copper, though it is a part of our physiology naturally, it's one of those things that you only really need it excessively in a dire situation. It seemed to instruct. But I like this because it's just going to give you little bits, probably allowing your body to regulate it to some degree.
Exactly.
But what's also interesting is it brought up a memory I had of learning this years ago. You know how in ancient Kemet there's a depiction of the gods on the walls in the artwork as being of a green skin tone, similar to
Mm-hmm.
when you have water interact with copper. Like if you have water on your body and a copper bracelet, there's a little bit of a green tint, like that's the
Mm-hmm.
color produced. Or when you look at copper in the form of something you can take internally, the green powder is how it's actually, that's how it's formed or presented. Now, what's
Exactly.
interesting is there's some part of our human evolution where apparently we had more copper in our systems, but then through whatever evolution or process we went through, we became more iron based. So, hence, you get the brown hue of people as opposed to the green hue. So, it's a very
Mm-hmm.
interesting thing. I learned that years ago, but just in some of our recent kind of investigation into copper and the properties thereof that came up.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Just
That's
an
interesting.
interesting suggestion. I mean, we're always evolving,
Yeah.
our human
I mean,
family and
it
every one of us. Go
it
ahead.
also makes me think of how copper is a conductor as well.
Mm,
And supposedly, when it comes to making unks, which, ancient future, my teacher, he's teaching me how to make unks as well and different
mm,
things. You usually use like some copper in that as well, so that it conducts
mm.
the energy. So if you have a crystal there, everything's flowing through it, and it kind of speaks to, the body of man,
Mm,
mankind, womankind. It's
right.
like, and
The Jed.
having that conducting going on. Exactly. We are the Jed. We
We
are
are the Jed. That's right. The
mhm,
battery.
that blur.
That's right. It goes on to say wearing genuine copper and using the metal in various forms, such as your jewelry, is not only great for healing aches and pains, but as Indian legend claims, copper is also known for its spiritual ability to keep all kinds of evil at bay. That's a good thing. And bless you with positivity and wealth. Well, we receive that. As you said, though, copper can conduct electrical impulses and magnify the energy transfer from the healer or from minerals to the subject of the healing. Copper can combat lethargy, passivity, restlessness, excitability, and non acceptance of oneself. It stimulates initiative, optimism, diplomacy, and independence. That's all. And thank you,
Powerful,
Michelle, for that background on that. That's
thorough.
helpful.
Yeah, that's
So,
beautiful. Thank you.
encourage folks
And
to visit.
even uh, when the pandemic was going on heavier,
Mm-hmm.
um, we had masks that would be coated with copper
Okay, copper lined,
since
yeah.
it's antifungal. You know,
True,
that's speak of
true.
its nature. You know.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's blessed. That is definitely
Mm-hmm.
blessed. That's great. Well, definitely, bro. I'm so grateful, man. I'm excited. Like I'm seeing all my friends who are incredible artisans producing some amazing stuff. I was so happy we had TPH on as well. She just put out her new book. There's so much creativity. I
Yeah,
mean, here we are. It's a springtime for us in the
beautiful.
Northern Hemisphere. So we're getting
Mm-hmm.
that new fervor, that new beginning, that new energy coming forth like spring.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm excited to know your website is out there now. People can go to heartworkonline.com. They can learn more. They can see the new site. They can even
Yeah,
put in a custom order to have you
mhm,
make something truly sacred for them.
exactly.
That's
And
amazing.
I'll be leaning more in towards the prayer beads soon. So
Okay.
I have a whole nother arsenal of prayer beads,
Mm-hmm.
and if you have any special requests, because there's different numbers for different orders.
Right.
So like, the Hindus, they use like 108.
Mm-hmm.
In Islam, they use 99.
Mm-hmm.
So different
Exactly.
orders that ones.
Exactly.
So, and I definitely sit and meditate with this jewelry, especially the prayer beads. I definitely put positive energy on these things.
Yeah.
Before delivering them as well. So that's what's up.
That's incredible. Yeah, I'm excited. Hopefully in the future we can also have another, like you shared with the Black Love Fest. That was a deep experience when you shared the heartwork process, even just a little glimpse of it. I know myself included, absolutely everybody in that broadcast was affected. That was a powerful moment. I mean, it was profound. I know Mama Io was moved, and everybody who was tapping in definitely appreciated that. So I want to encourage folks who want to up their spiritual technology to visit heartworkonline.com. And it's kind of like with crystals, and those who work with crystals know, like, certain crystals will call out to you. They'll resonate with you. You'll resonate with them. And so whatever you might see on the website, if it's still available, it's yours. Be sure to go ahead and order something for yourself. And if you want to put in a custom order because you have certain types of gems or crystals that you do resonate with, then Brother Bilal Samadhi can also facilitate that for you. So we want to certainly encourage that. And also, I want to make conscious, today's episode is 1 month before the big Earth Day episode. So I know we've done our pillar events for PR on Earth Day. So we have a big one coming up next month. I'm excited for that. Planetary Moon Day 19. It'll be 1 moon from today. And there's a lot of things, unlike years past, there's a whole lot that is synchronizing on this Earth Day, including it being Noosphere Day. Oop, I see we just lost Bilal's signal. But with that said, let me take us to the next part of the broadcast. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. Again, visit heartworkonline.com. Be sure to check out our featured creative today, TPH. You can look for her link tree in the chat. And again, we encourage you to stay tuned as we tune in and spiral up in this collective journey of heart and soul transformation. And, definitely encouraging you to tap in with the Cilio Day meditation. If you want to get access to that video, please visit noah.foundation on YouTube. If you go to youtube.com/@NOO.foundation, and you'll be able to find the video that we shared earlier with Michelle's meditation right there. It's incredible. And it's just a very beautiful, brief meditation, 4 minutes and 41 seconds. For those who know the significance of the numbers, that is a most significant frequency. And we're happy to have that out for folks to use also as another tool, a technology to help you with the shift, as they say, from the biosphere to the noosphere. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we look forward to tapping in with you again in a month when we'll be bringing you the Earth Day edition, Align with Earth, on the actual noosphere day, Kin 79, which is the magnetic storm, if I'm not mistaken. So with that, peace and love to everybody out there, and continue to stay in your light, okay? Stay the course and stay in love. Peace and blessings. One love.